wants more energy, especially at the beginning of the game.
2 straight losses for West Virginia to Arizona State and Kansas State. That was following a win against one of those top 10 teams, number 3 at the time, Iowa State. It is Houston, number 6 in the country, 16-3 overall, 8-0 in conference play, coming off that double overtime thriller in Lawrence, Kansas. And they get an offensive rebound, Joseph Tugler, as the Cougars strike first. Javon Small, the scouting report coach for West Virginia, if you're playing the Mountaineers, begins and ends with Javon Small.
Well, they just played a couple weeks ago in West Virginia. They looked at the defense of Houston and said, what are we going to do to free up Small a little bit? You see him running that middle ball screen right there, but Houston's going to give Javon Small a variance of different looks. They're going to trap the ball screen. They're going to ice the ball screen. They're going to switch a little bit and try to not let Javon Small get comfortable.
Milos Uzan in the backcourt for this very talented Houston Cougars team. They average 77 points per game, and they hold opponents to 56 points per game. They can beat you a lot of different ways. That's L.J. Cryer knocking down the three-pointer. They shoot nearly 40% as a team from deep.
Cryer in one corner, Sharp in the other. It's very hard to defend. They spread the court, and then if you give too much help or sag into the middle, they'll do that, skip it to the shooter.
First meeting between these two teams took place on January 15th in Houston, with the Cougars winning 70-54. Small was held in that game to 13 points on 4 of 11 shooting. Cougars defense would like a similar result here today. Loose ball picked up by Emmanuel Sharp, who's been battling an ankle injury recently, but back, looks to be healthy in the starting lineup, and a turnover on West Virginia. You just can't do that against the Cougars.
Can't do that, but 2 concerns for West Virginia are already apparent. The offensive glass, Houston is terrific on the glass, and that man is going to throw a lot of different looks at Javon Small. What will they do to get him some open looks? I think they're going to move him off the ball a little bit tonight to free him up with some pin down screens.
Kelvin Sampson got his first win in Kansas the other day as a three-pointer again by L.J. Cryer, and it's a quick 8-0 run. Sampson had been previously 0-8 in Lawrence before the win, and this is actually his first trip ever to Morgantown, West Virginia, and what a welcome gift he's given the fans here as his Cougars are out to an 8-0 lead.
Gotta be on your toes. You've got to be able to react and move on the pass, not on the catch.
Joseph Yesufu, the transfer from Washington State. It's the first bucket for West Virginia.
They move the ball so quickly, and they're ready to shoot. Even off the offensive rebound, they'll look to pitch it back outside for the quick 3.
Offense has been a struggle in the last 2 games, averaging just 58 points per game between the 2 losses. And a slam inside. Joseph Tugler, his second field goal of the game.
Well, that's just way too easy. Oconee just gave up the baseline and played him way too tight. Wasn't ready to slide his feet. You got to give Tugler a little room. He's not going to shoot that very often, but he will attack the rim.
Tugler was scoreless in the first meeting between these 2 teams. Already has 4 here tonight. Amani Hansberry misses the 3, and a loose ball. That'll be a whistle, actually out of bounds. Milos Uzan stepped on the baseline.
Here you see Tugler. He just squares himself. He doesn't really have great post position, but Oconee gambles a little bit and loses that advantage down on the baseline. But you saw in that last possession, Eric, what Houston's going to do on occasion, especially on that side ball screen. They are going to double Javon Small and get the ball out of his hands.
They're the best scoring defense in the country, and they get their second turnover there off the inbound. Here's L.J. Cryer as Houston has started the game 4 of 5 from the floor, including a pair of triples. 3 minutes have gone by here in Morgantown. They feed it to the big man, Juwan Roberts. He is a handful.
He is a handful, and now Small's on him, but you could see he's very unselfish.
Nearly the 3rd three-pointer of the game for Houston. It rattles out, will stay with the Cougars. And Kelvin Sampson has built this program, Tim, on defense. And you see the rankings here over the last 5 seasons.
Well, to play for Kelvin Sampson, you have to be able to play for Kelvin Sampson. And it's not, he doesn't recruit. He evaluates people not only as basketball players, but toughness and character as well.
Beating teams on average by 21 points. That's what they call a whooping where I'm from. And they turn the ball over there. They don't do that very often. A transition run out No whistle as Yesufu gets it back. Third opportunity. Nope, the whistle came in before that, so Yesufu will go to the line. Fans wanted a foul on the initial play as Jonathan Powell was making a play after the steal.
Well, Kelvin Sampson not very happy. Too much dribbling on the offensive end, and then on the attack, Houston did a good job of coming back on defense, and fortunate for West Virginia that they got the second call, not the first.
Well, Darren DeVries has to be happy that his defense got a turnover there, because Houston is best in the nation in turnovers per game, under 9 per game. And so DeVries, he'll take any free buckets he can get, because he told us before the game, Houston just does not give you any freebies.
Well, you've got to be gritty against Houston first and foremost. You might not be able to match it, but you got to be in the same planet. And first thing West Virginia is concerned about is, in Big 12 games, they're -6.5 on the glass, and that's where Houston can really hurt you, especially on the offensive glass, where they just get it inside and they attack, or they pitch it back out for the open three as everybody resets.
Joseph Yesufu has all 3 of West Virginia's points thus far. Gets one at the free throw line there. Pick and roll inside, Tugler too strong. Roberts the offensive rebound. Emmanuel Sharp steps into a 3.
Yeah, exactly what we were just talking about. Roberts did not even think about turning and trying to score. He got the rebound right around the restricted area line and immediately looked back outside for Sharp, who knew the pass was coming.
Guards all over the place that can shoot from 3 on this Houston Cougars roster. 3 of 4 from deep so far. O'Connor with 7 on the shot clock. Nice floater from the baseline.
Well, Houston's going to pressure from the outside, but they also understand that West Virginia is only shooting 29% from 3 in the league game. So let them have that open look on the outside. At that time, O'Connor did a good job of getting his move into the mid-range area.
Using. Flips it to Roberts. And the lid on for Roberts. Still searching for his first field goal. Here's O'Connor, the opposite side of where he just made his last baseline field goal. Good feed inside, and Eduardo Andre, a strong take to the rim.
Well, Kelvin not happy on that possession. He thought Sharp and company a little too much gambling for steals instead of playing solid, but good move to the rim.
Good crowd here in Morgantown tonight as Tugler working against Toby O'Connor. And Tugler gets his own rebound. That seems to be a matchup that Houston's targeting here early.
It is, but they did good first possession defense, but they've got to build the wall on the inside. That's just unacceptable. Let it take an 8-foot floater and then get his own rebound.
Tugler's done that twice, gotten his own rebound and put it back. He's got 6 points. That's his season per game average. We're not even 6 minutes into this game. He's already hit it. This 3-pointer in the corner for Yesufu. And a loose ball out of bounds off of Houston. Time loss versus an AP-ranked team for Kansas since 1989. And it just seemed like every time you turned around, Houston was down and out. Oh, this game's over. Kansas has it in the bag. And then you flip the channel, or maybe you blink twice, and all of a sudden we're going to overtime. We're going to double overtime.
Well, the reason he has almost 800 wins is because he thought about that win for about 10 hours, and then that was it. Don't ask him about it, because they've had a lot of big wins. But anytime you go in and beat Bill Self and now in Fieldhouse, you have to feel great about your program. And but they've had a lot of super wins over the Kelvin Sampson era, including getting to the Final Four.
They've got an 8-point lead on the road here against West Virginia. They've already got 7 second chance points.
I mean, West Virginia's guards have to do a better job, especially when the ball digs in, to dig in themselves. They can't extend too much because of those deep threes, the rebounds come out to the perimeter, but they have to help out and support their bigs on the glass.
6 on the shot clock now. Javier Francis inside. Sweet touch for the senior. Rolled his ankle in the first half against Kansas. Didn't play a ton of minutes, but you know, he's had some big games this year. Just a little while ago at 16 points, 10 rebounds on January 18th against UCF. So he is capable of getting it done if need be. It's a 10-point lead for the Cougars. Javon Small, leading scorer in the Big 12 this season, 20 points per game. That's a turnover on the traveling violation. Third turnover on West Virginia. Coach Emmanuel Sharp, we saw limping during the timeout. He's dealt with foot, ankle injuries. He missed the game prior to the Kansas game. It was kind of limited in terms of minutes and activity in that Kansas win. Played 26 minutes in the double overtime game, 8 points, but a little concerning for Houston to see him limping around during the timeout.
Yeah, they're trying to manage that, and he's such a tough player. He wants to be out there, but it's definitely backcourt. They missed that.
Yeah, L.J. Cryer stepped over the line. No whistle from our officials. Don Daly, Brooks Wells, and Chance Moore. Should have been a turnover there. Instead, 7 on the shot clock for Roberts. Wilson misses the 3. He had the big 3-point shot that sent the game in Kansas to double overtime. And tripping and falling down is Sincere Harris. Lost it out of bounds. And turnover number 4 on the Mountaineers.
Well, that's what Houston's defense does too, Eric. It speeds you up. I'll refer to the quarterbacks in the NFL, the guys that have happy feet. They speed up. The defense speeds you up. They attack. They put the pressure on you all the time. And that's what you see now with Houston's defense. West Virginia is sped up. They're not comfortable at all in the half court. And that time you saw it in transition. But coming down the other end, Houston's doing a good job of spacing the court. They're going right inside. They're not trying to extend to the 3. West Virginia is staying home in the corners on the 3s, which allows a little bit more space to get the ball inside.
Houston shooting 54% from the floor compared to West Virginia's 37%. And there's a turnover, number 2 on the Cougars. We'll see if West Virginia can do anything with it. They've been scoreless the last 3 minutes.
He tried to force the issue inside. Cryer probably shouldn't have tried that pass, and Kelvin wasn't very happy.
12 minutes on the nose. We've got a timeout here in West Virginia. Kelvin Sampson not happy despite the Cougars being up 10. Half here in Morgantown. Houston on top by 10. Eric Rothman, Tim Welsh here with you. Take a season recap of the West Virginia Mountaineers, 13-6, but they do have 3 wins over AP top 10 opponents, and they've been really good here at home. The issue has been the offense, right? Coach Tucker DeVries has been out for quite some time. Doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon. That's put a lot of pressure on Javon Small to produce, and the question is, if everybody you're playing against is gearing up to stop Javon Small, who steps up and helps him?
Well, they've also seen him, and they've seen his act now. And in this league, the coaches are going to do a great job of scouting. They have to take the pressure off him. They have to have guys like Jonathan Powell step up. O'Connie has to step up. Andre Hansberry, all those guys, just to relieve some pressure off Small. And if those guys do step up and Houston respects them, then that will open some things up for Small. But right now, it's been a struggle because every time he touches the ball, whether it's a dribble handoff or a side ball screen, they're getting the ball out of his hands.
No points yet for Small. He's yet to attempt a field goal in this game. In West Virginia, they got to stop turning the ball over. That's the 5th turnover. They are scoreless now in the last 3.5 minutes, and that's just too easy for L.J. Cryer, who had 18 points and 5 3-pointers the last time these two teams met. Gets the floater there, and Darren DeVries, a quick timeout.
Very quick, but he's trying to salvage this game early with his defense, and right now that's been the thing that's lacking. If you can get some stops, then you may be able to get out in transition, and that just flat-footed there. Cryer just takes him off the bounce, and coming in, Harris just doesn't even get up and contest.
Well, we could talk about what does West Virginia need to do on the offensive end all day, but they've got 3 turnovers in the last 3 possessions. Doesn't matter what you're going to do on the offensive end if you can't hold on to the basketball.
Well, and really Houston now is almost on an 85-point pace on the offensive end, so it's got to start with West Virginia's defense. Now, they're not going to be able to score a lot of points against Houston. It's going to be tough to do, but they've got to get some stops first to help them stay in this game.
16-3 record as Emmanuel Sharp, who was limping during the last time out, is back out there. A 12-game winning streak for the Cougars. You see tops in the country in scoring defense, scoring margin, turnovers per game, turnover margin. Best in the Big 12 and 3-point percentage this season. They do a lot of things really, really well. As Sharp is back out on the floor, as well as Terrence Arsenault for the Houston Cougars team on defense now. See what West Virginia draws up out of the break.
Yeah, it's Small coming off a pin down, but Houston jumped out and switched it.
He drives, 7 on the shot clock. Drew some contact, but no whistle there on Small's first field goal attempt of the game. Comes 9 minutes into the game before Small even gets a shot.
Well, that's his MO. He's not going to force shots. You know, he's a high percentage type point getter, but right now he may have to go try to force the issue.
Uzan, dead-eye 3. It's the 4th three-pointer of the half for Houston.
Houston just seems to find that guy who's not going to get out and defend on the perimeter. It's really not been one guy or another for West Virginia. It's just relaxed a little bit too much.
They get Small open for a three-point look, and he makes the most of it there. Second three-pointer of the game for West Virginia, and the first field goal for Javon Small.
Well, they moved him off the ball in that possession. They did a good job setting that pin down screen, and he didn't have a lot of time, but just enough to get it off.
Should say the first three-point field goal made for West Virginia in 4 attempts. And that's a traveling violation on Javier Francis.
Well, they're going to run people at him, whether it's on the perimeter or on the drive. They are not going to allow him any clean looks. He's going to have to work for everything tonight. You look at that, over 3, even 4 defenders. And now in this possession, they come off a pin down screen. Houston gets a little mixed up on the switch, and he finds the open gap.
You talked about it, Coach, in the first meeting, how many different looks the Cougars gave Javon Small. What were those different looks, and why was it so difficult?
Well, they switched on ball screens, they double ball screens, they ice ball screens, and then sometimes they put even a variance of different defenders. They gave him a lot of different, not only looks, but different bodies as well.
3 on the shot clock now. Okani feeds it inside, and Hansberry's got no idea how much time is left. The basket did go in, but I don't think he got it off, Coach.
No, he did not get it off. They were unaware of where they were, and that's what Houston's defense does to you again. Maybe take a look at it.
Yeah, they're going to count the basket, and usually they do that so that they can go review it. So the officials, Don Daly, Brooks Wells, and Chance Moore. And I didn't think it was particularly close, but maybe it was closer than we thought. See the shot clock in the bottom right corner there. Yeah, and you see the red light is already on, still clearly in his hand.
But that's a great shot by our camera crew. Just look how spread out West Virginia is away from the basket. They have one player inside the three-point line, and everyone else is a good 22 to 25 feet away from the basket. And they need to run their offense at the three-point line and in, and that's what they're not doing. But Houston pushes you out. And talked about what looks they gave Small in the first game. Well, they doubled, but it was a soft double. It was a double just to push him out and not let him turn the corner, push him towards the sideline. And as soon as he took that step back, then they got back into their one-on-one coverage. And they gave him a lot of different looks. I mean, even Jawan Roberts guarded him at times. So you don't want to give him a heavy diet of one thing. He's so smart, so good, so tough. He'll find ways to score, but Houston is going to counter with different looks and different players.
Basket does not count after the review. Shot clock violation and a turnover on West Virginia. The Houston offense, they've made 4 of their last 5. 9.5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Houston riding a 12-game winning streak. They're perfect so far in Big 12 play, 8-0 and ranked 6th in the country after the road win in double overtime against Kansas over the weekend. And Roberts has been held scoreless so far. He faces up Hansberry. Good hands by Yesufu to poke it loose. Yesufu on the run. And they're going to say a foul on the floor and no free throws, but the possession will stay with West Virginia.
Well, he did get fouled on the floor, but way before the whistle. You see, he got fouled back, but now that is a foul in the act of shooting all night long.
4 turnovers for Houston. Already just about half of what they average per game. So West Virginia has been doing a good job of generating extra possessions, but they have not been shooting the ball well. Let's see if it changes here. Nope, Jonathan Powell misses the 3, as they're now 1 for 5 from distance.
Now, that was a pretty good look, though, by Powell. He can knock that shot down. He's been a very efficient player all season long for West Virginia.
37% three-point shooter on the year. Yesufu's been good defensively. He's all over Emmanuel Sharp. 6 on the shot clock now. As Sharp gets it back, step back three. No chance. His body's tangled up underneath. And body's also tangled up on the sideline near the West Virginia bench. Got guys all over the place,
I'm not
Coach.
sure why they blew the whistle. A little scrum going on inside. A little wrestling match.
And then on the far side of your screen, you might see a couple bodies collide into, there's Javon Roberts going into the West Virginia bench. He was kind of shoved over there by Amani Hansberry. I don't think there was a foul called on the play, and yet we're stopping and reviewing something. So we're not sure exactly what the review is. There was not a foul indicated, but we'll get it all figured out. 8:27 to go here in the first.
During tonight's game, the WVU coaching staff is proudly participating in the American Cancer Society's Coaches vs. Cancer Week by wearing the helmets to raise awareness to the mission to end cancer as we know it for everyone. To learn more about Coaches vs. Cancer, setting the screen to save lives from cancer, visit coaches.cancer.org. Be sure to purchase some Barney's Bakery pepperoni roll all season long at the nearest concession stand during all WVU basketball games. Barney's is proud to be the official pepperoni roll of WVU athletics.
There he is.
It's time for the Barney's Bakery
Hey, Huggy Bear.
Yeah, why not? Story.
Fans, you want the chance to be seen on the video board throughout tonight's game? Post your favorite photo by scanning the QR code on the video board now. Select photos.
Yeah, that's the one thing with this
One winner will receive 100
microphone, whatever they call it over there.
They don't come talk to us.
They don't come over.
at WVUlottery.com.
Yeah, but they didn't call a foul on the play, did they? Yeah.
I don't think it's anything. I think it's two guys that got tangled up, lost balance. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's a good point by you. Better eyes than me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know. No, they're not coming to us.
Get a chance, maybe, if we can. No, maybe not. A bit of a melee before the break. We're still getting it sorted out. This is the play in question that was under review. Watch the top of your screen. Amani Hansberry and Javon Roberts tangled up. And
no foul on the play for either team.
Hansberry kind of shoves Roberts into the West Virginia bench. And we just heard from Don Daly, one of the officials, that there is no foul on the play. So some physical basketball. They took a look at it. No foul.
It's that time of year. It's kind of like what the Bills did with Patrick Mahomes. Just
they didn't do enough of it.
Shoved him out of bounds here and there, looking for the flag.
Eric Rothman, Tim Welsh with you here in Morgantown. And that pass goes off the leg of referee Brooks Wells. And a turnover on West Virginia. That is number 7. As they continue to struggle to get their offense moving in the right direction.
Well, again, just they speed you up. They make you feel uncomfortable and do things you don't usually do.
LJ Cryer already has 8 points for the Cougars and a foul on the rebound over the top. It's on number 11, Joseph Tugler. Darren DeVries, 10 points in 12 minutes. Not the offense he was looking for.
No, it's not. I mean, their defense has settled down a little bit in the last 3 or 4 minutes, but they've got to find a way to get this guy some shots, Javon Small.
5 turnovers in the last 7 minutes for the West Virginia offense. They go inside to Toby O'Connie, working against Roberts. Had some good looks, some balls that have been halfway down into the bucket that pop back out.
Well, the problem is that West Virginia can't provide the spacing on offense that Houston does because West Virginia doesn't have those shooters on the wing.
Tugler, hard foul, sends him to the line. He's had a good first half for Houston. 6 points, 3 rebounds. He's been really a defensive rim protector for this Houston team. He's top 10 in the nation in total blocks. Game against Kansas, he had a great line, 9.7 rebounds, 5 blocks in that game, but showing some offensive production here early in this one.
Well, he's hunting shots for sure. He's trying to post up, and that time you saw him catch the ball right out above the elbow area, right on that nail. And you know, for a big guy using the left hand who's a right-hander, that was a pretty impressive move.
Terrence Arsenault back into the game for the Cougars as Emmanuel Sharp, still walking pretty gingerly, heads to the bench. Javon Small.
Switched out.
Yep.
Roberts, the big guy, moving his feet. Very good on the perimeter defensively.
Yeah, he was happy with himself. Gave himself a golf clap. Powell for 3. They need that. They need Jonathan Powell to step up. He's a 38% three-point shooter on the year. It's his first field goal of the game.
Well, he did a good job on that possession because he moved. He read the defense. He just didn't stand still and wait for the pass. He's got to keep doing that or else Houston will smother him. But that time he did a good job of reading the defense.
Uzan. 10 on the shot clock to Cryer. West Virginia all over the place on defense, doing a good job. 3 seconds to shoot. 1 second for Roberts, and 1 as the buzzer was about to sound.
Roberts is such a savvy, smart, tough veteran, and coming out on the perimeter, you saw Andre just guard him, but he was standing straight up. I think he thought the clock was going to expire, the shot clock, and that instead of just defending for 3 more seconds, he got out of his stance and allowed Roberts to go to his strong hand and then fouled him.
You can see on that first replay shot there was 0.1 on the shot clock when Roberts released the shot. You see 155 games in a Houston Cougar uniform for Javon Roberts. He leads the program in wins. Also has over 1,000 career points and extends the Cougar lead to 14 here with 6:20 to go. Ansberry, he traveled. Turnover number 8 in the first half for the Mountaineers.
Well, again, they doubled on the side ball screen, made Small give it up to Hansberry. Now he's just got to make the play, but instead they sent the second defender at him and made him rush the situation.
3 more turnovers than West Virginia has made field goals. 5 for 13 as a team here in this half. Uzan to his left. Hansberry reels it in. Defensive rebound for the Mountaineers. Now Joseph Yesufu pressing the action and finishes with the left hand as Yesufu is the leading scorer with 5 for West Virginia.
He's done a good job. He's pushing the pace. He's looking to attack, and they need more of that. And try not to get into a half-court game. Find some opportunities in transition with Yesufu.
Tugler, an errant pass, rolls out of bounds. And it'll be West Virginia basketball.
Forced the issue down low, and they were waiting for West Virginia to bite on Yesufu, and he took that second, third dribble and just fired it aimlessly out to the perimeter. And usually Houston does not force the issue inside.
I got to be honest, Coach, I've been pretty impressed with West Virginia's defense. They've already forced 5 turnovers. You know, they had those 3 points they gave, the 3-pointers that they gave up early when the game started, but they've settled in. The problem is they just have not been able to capitalize. As you see there, they're just frantic to even get in a half-court set.
Well, again, they doubled and got the ball out of Small's hands.
Hansberry blocked. Jawan Roberts had his number. Transition now. Arsenault for 3. And that'll stay with Houston out of bounds.
And West Virginia again, they slip the ball screen, they attack, and at the rim, Hansberry just cannot finish. He's got to go a lot stronger if he catches the ball on the run at the rim.
Cryer missing the 3, batted out for a reset. Good job by Tugler to keep it alive on the offensive glass.
That's for O'Connie again. He's got to drive Tugler off that spot.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Tugler now finds himself alone at the top of the key. And Houston 4 of 10 from 3-point range. Eduardo Andre was wide open, but nobody on West Virginia noticed except for the fans. A missed shot there. L.J. Cryer up ahead. Tugler with authority.
Goodness. That was in about 3.1 seconds. That was flying up the court. West Virginia got caught napping a little bit off the miss down low.
10 points, 4 rebounds for Joseph Tugler, the sophomore.
I really think Javon Small's got to be a little bit more selfish. Just try to create and see if he can at least get to the free throw line.
Some sort of spark here as Arsenault gets a friendly roll. Another 3-pointer goes down for Houston. And all of a sudden, a 32-15 lead for the 6th-ranked team in the nation.
Well, a lot of teams run to the 3-point line in transition, but Houston does this. They're going to eat the rim and attack with toughness.
The mainstay in the Big 12 for a number of years, spent 3 years at Baylor, now in his 2nd season at Houston, and he's got 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists already in this one. And it's a guard-heavy team for Houston, and he's just one of the 4 or 5 guys that can knock down a 3 anytime you need it.
You know, he's shot ready. He moves without the ball very, very well. His teammates always look for him. He plants himself in the corner, but he's not just a one-trick wonder out there. He can put the ball on the deck. He can attack. He can get to the free throw line. And between him and Joe Tugler, they are outscoring West Virginia by themselves.
Yeah, Tugler's got 10. Cryer's got 8. And West Virginia has 15. It's the largest lead of the game. Eric Rothman, Tim Welsh with you. You see Houston Cougars have held opponents under 20 points 7 times in a half this season. 3.5 minutes to go in the opening half here in Morgantown, and the Mountaineers have 15 points. Javon Small, you can just tell, Coach, he's starting to get frustrated. Just trying to create himself. The hometown rims not helping Javon Small on that 3-point attempt.
Well, that's the problem. Even if he goes by his man, there's just a lot of traffic in front of him because West Virginia can't space the floor, and Houston's not going to respect those wing shooters because they're not consistent enough from the outside.
Yeah, West Virginia 2 for 8 from 3-point land. Under 10 to shoot now for Uzan. There's Toby O'Connie with the rebound. Eduardo Andre spins out of trouble, kicks it to Small in the corner. Fans wanted him to take it himself.
Well, he should have taken it himself. He had a lane right to the rim with a smaller defender right there to protect. Instead, he saw Small. It's not a terrible play, but you got to take the 2 when you have it.
Here's Uzan. Spinning, had Small on skates, and Milos Uzan now has 5 points for Houston.
But again, what Andre just did, it's what a credit to Houston's defense. It makes you feel uncomfortable at all times. Maybe he thought the second or third defender were in his neighborhood, and that's why he pitched it back out to Small.
Houston has had 30 or more wins each of its last 3 seasons. They're at 16 now, looking for more as West Virginia finally gets a bucket, ends a 3.5-minute drought as Eduardo Andre finds it underneath.
Well, that was a good look by Andre. He's a very good passer for a big. He's unselfish.
I should say, Coach, my apologies. That was Toby O'Connie who got the bucket. Quickly back the other way, Javier Francis responds for Houston.
The interior defense now for West Virginia is not where they need it to be to move their feet, deny in the paint, and then contest at the rim.
18 points in the paint for Houston so far. 1 minute to go here in the half. Andre double pumps, and this time it's Eduardo Andre with the bucket.
A couple of good sets, Eric, in a row. The 3, actually, Andre passed up the easy one and then 2 layups.
Right.
So a little bit more comfortable.
Oh, now West Virginia just sleeping on defense. Terrence Arsenault, there wasn't anybody in the same zip code on the far side of the court.
Jonathan Powell, communication lacking on that possession. He was in the paint defending and left Arsenault wide open on the wing.
Houston 6 for 12 from 3. Another lipped out 3 for this West Virginia offense. This time Jonathan Powell had a good look at it. And a timeout on the floor.
Timeout called by Houston.
Well, the art of the upset means that you can't have plays like this. You can't come down the court and nobody guarding a wide open player in the half court. And West Virginia's had too many of these type plays in this half.
Arsenault, one of 4 players to make a 3-pointer here in this first half for Houston. And Coach, this is a team, you look at the last 6 years, a Final Four, an Elite 8, 3 Sweet 16s. It seems like they could be right back in the last weekend in March again this season.
Well, they do all the things correctly. When the checklist is there. Number 1, terrific coaching. Number 2, culture, great passing, unselfish play. They don't turn it over. They defend the heck out of you right at the line of scrimmage, as Kelvin Sampson would say. And they really can get up in your face and rebound and make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, Coach Sampson has his own lexicon that he uses with his players. I asked him, what? He just kept saying in practice today, line of scrimmage, line of scrimmage. He said, if you came to one of my practices in Houston, you'd ask me 100 times what I'm saying. But the important thing is these guys know what I mean. The guys on the floor know my sayings and know my acronyms and all that. And everybody seems to get it. And they're firing on all cylinders under 10 seconds to go here in the half. Houston has scored on 5 of their last 6 possessions. Trying to go in the half with 1 more. Cryer the turnaround 3. Not a good look, but it's a 20-point halftime lead for the number 6 team in the nation. The 3 guys that Coach DeVries pointed out to us before the game, Small, Powell, and Hansberry, they've combined for just 6 points on 2 of 13 shooting. So yeah, it's just tough to get anything done with those are your numbers.
And they had a few open looks, and Powell did as well. But Javon Small, they really smothered him with different looks, schemes, and different bodies as well.
Foul called on L.J. Cryer. That's his 2nd. Quick whistle coming out to start the second half goes against the Cougars. Here's Small. O'Connie dumps it off inside. That's Hansberry's first bucket.
A good job, a better job in the last part of the first half, and now on that possession of cutting and not standing. You must do that against Houston to get easy looks around the rim.
Milos Uzan had 5 points on 2 of 5 shooting in the first half. L.J. Cryer had 8 points. He had 18 points the last time these 2 teams met back on January 15th in Houston. And the Cougars won that game 70-54. They are a perfect 8-0 in conference play this year, and they've won 12 in a row. Here's a deep three by Emmanuel Sharp. It's off the left side of the iron and into the hands of Javon Small.
Javon Roberts guarding Small. Now they switch out with Tugler. The two bigs both guarding the leading scorer in this conference.
Small lost it for a second, is back to Tugler. West Virginia's lost 2 games in a row. Trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak. They need a comeback here. A little jump hook from Toby Okani goes down.
Well, good job by Javon Small recognizing that mismatch on the inside. The bigs were guarding Small, and Okani had a mismatch down low.
Sincere Harris pestering Uzan near midcourt. Uzan picks up his dribble, and there's 10 to shoot now for the Cougars. Pryor to his left, stripped and stolen away. Turnover. And a 3-point look. In transition, it's Jonathan Powell to knock it down.
Well, you asked what they needed to do, and it has to start with the defense, but then get some better looks, get the ball inside, be unselfish, be aggressive, and then get out in transition and knock a couple shots down.
17:56 to go here in the second half. Darren DeVries and the West Virginia Mountaineers have a 7-0 run coming out of the locker rooms to start the second half. Milos Uzan is going to get called for an offensive foul as he shoved Sincere Harris, and Harris still down on the floor underneath the basket.
He took a hard fall, but he played some hard defense on Uzan all the way up the court. Coming out of that timeout, they picked up full court, and the pressure now in this half has affected Houston. Houston's getting the ball stuck on one side of the floor. They're not getting a lot of player or ball movement in the half court.
Halftime lead of 20 for Houston. The Mountaineers trying to chip away. They've gotten Hansberry and Powell involved. Now they get Okani. He feeds it inside. It's Hansberry again. He's fouled. West Virginia wants the bucket to count. They say somebody disrupted the backboard, made it shake. It'll be 2 free throws upcoming.
Well, again, West Virginia doing a good job of cutting opposite the ball and not just posting up, getting big. They're using that power game. Double post and running a little inside triangle. Small is doing a good job of just being a decoy out on the floor. They have Roberts guarding him on the perimeter, which is a good move by Houston, but it also pulls Roberts away from the lane to protect the rim.
Hansberry getting involved here in the second half. He was scoreless in the first. Transfer from Illinois. Former top 100 recruit out of Mount St. Joseph's High School in Maryland.
Again, the full court pressure, trying to take Houston out of their rhythm.
Roberts to his left. Finds Sharp in the corner. 12 to shoot now for Uzan. 3 minutes gone by in the second half. Uzan, a good duel with Sincere Harris. And now a whistle away from the ball. It goes against Harris and against the Mountaineers.
Well, I know one thing. Every morning the sun comes up, and you could call that on almost every possession in this game. A little forearm touch away from the basketball.
First foul of the half on West Virginia. Houston has 3 team fouls already. Uzan picks up his dribble near midcourt.
Houston running their offense 35 feet away from the basket.
5 seconds to shoot. Sharp inside. Tugler knocked down, and a shot clock violation. And a turnover sends the ball back to the Mountaineers.
And they've won too many passes. I mean, give West Virginia all the credit in the world with that defensive effort, but Houston made one too many passes on that possession. They've got to get the ball up on the rim.
These fans, these students, coach, they've been just waiting for their team to give them something to cheer about. They finally have it here. 9-0 run to start the second half for West Virginia. West Virginia trying to snap Houston's 12-game winning streak and trying to find their 4th win against a top 10 opponent this year. Okani, count it, and the foul.
Now, Darren DeVries at the half made some very good adjustments, and they're starting to work. And the first thing they've done is pressured the basketball full court. They're getting up the full denial on the wings. They're making Houston uncomfortable in the half court on offense. And then on the offensive end for West Virginia, they are going inside on almost every possession.
West Virginia's made 4 in a row, have cut the lead from 20 down to 9. The last time that the Houston lead was under 10 points was when it was 15-7. Kelvin Sampson stoic and not pleased with the second half effort of the Cougars. Houston has only attempted 1 field goal so far in this second half. 3 turnovers to go with the missed field goal. Sincere Harris has done a great job of making Milos Uzan very uncomfortable.
Yeah, Kelvin Sampson's trying to inject some confidence or energy or intensity into Uzan. He looks back on his heels a little bit. In the first half, he ran his stuff. He did a good job on the offensive end, running the team. But Harris has been up in his grill.
Uzan inbounds to LJ Cryer. Quiet night for Roberts, just 3 points as he backs his way inside. Turns, pulls the trigger on the left-handed jump hook, and he pounds his chest, trying to get himself pumped up, and his team here, their first bucket of the second half.
Well, you know Roberts is going to make that move. He's going to go over his right shoulder every time, but he does a good job of jab stepping the other way, in the other direction, to get you leaning and finding that angle in the paint.
Small in the corner, good action. And Javon Small hits the 3. Wilson, the response on the other end. A quick possession and a score for Houston.
You know, the hero in the Kansas games. I'm going to try to take this game over myself. We needed something on the attack, and he delivered.
First bucket of the game from Malik Wilson, who had the 3-pointer to send it to double overtime in the win in Lawrence. 5 minutes gone by in the second half. Powell for 3. Loose ball. Bodies collide. And a foul on the floor. We got a couple guys down. Tugler, and I believe that's Yesufu for West Virginia, still on his back. Oh, excuse me, that's Amani Hansberry. So Hansberry shaken up. Foul called against Houston. West Virginia on a run here to start the second half. 13-4 run for West Virginia to start this second half. What has changed for Darren DeVries and the Mountaineers?
Well, I'm sure he just got into his team at halftime and said, wait a minute, you're getting punched. You're getting punched in the stomach, punched in the chest, and being thrown to the floor. And that's what Houston will do to you. And if you don't respond and punch back, that's what will happen with a 20-point lead at halftime. But probably said to his team, what are you afraid of? Let's just go play. Go play, go attack. Don't be afraid to make a mistake, and start with our defense and go inside. And so far, it's worked.
They're moving the ball around, too. They had 5 assists in the entire first half. They've got 5 assists and 5 made field goals already here in the second half. Javon Small hit a big 3 in the corner a minute ago. He's working against Roberts now. 5 to shoot. Floats that one in as he had the matchup he wanted against the big man.
He did, but Roberts played pretty good defense, but it was a better play in the middle of the floor by a great player.
Small with 8 points now, and now Roberts on the offensive end, trying to muscle his way inside. And Hansberry jumps the passing lane, last touch by Houston, and that's a turnover. Number 9 on the Cougars, already at their season per game turnover average.
They only average 8 per game in the conference, so their offense right now is stagnant. West Virginia's doing a lot of denying and a lot of pressuring the basketball. I think they have to attack, space the floor, try to attack off the dribble, try to get that middle pick and roll going, but there was no angle on that pass into the mid-post area.
9 turnovers tonight, 8.7 per game on the season. Hansberry looking for an entry pass. O'Connie's working hard inside, but Malik Wilson all over him. Small, step back three. Hansberry tangled up in a foul against West Virginia. It was Javier Francis who was elbow to elbow with Hansberry, and Hansberry's called for the foul.
Well, I think both guys kind of bumped each other. So Francis hit the pavement, and that's where Hansberry got called for the foul. That's tough play.
Oh, and a steal. Sincere Harris, he's been playing hard defense all second half. Gets a turnover and a bucket there.
This is a great strategic move by Darren DeVries at halftime. Just pick up full court, see what happens, and it's bothered Houston.
A 20-point lead, down to 6. Roberts, too much. In the corner, it's Powell. Oh, and it just lips out. Would have sent this place into a frenzy had that one gone down.
Well, Darren DeVries got to be happy, though. Powell is ready to shoot, and he's not afraid. He's playing with a lot of confidence tonight.
2-minute drought for Houston's offense. A foul on the floor as Arsenault was slashing into the lane.
Well, they're picking up full court. They're not trying to get a steal, but they're trying to deny it. If you get loose a little bit with the basketball, this is what happened. And they tried to cross over right in front of Harris, and Harris made him pay.
Sincere Harris and Amani Hansberry take a seat, and a standing ovation for their effort as West Virginia is right back into this ball game. Eduardo Andre checking in for the Mountaineers, as well as Joseph Yesufu. Houston has only scored 4 points here in the opening 7.5 minutes of the second period. Uzan, too much off the glass. West Virginia has knocked off 3 top 10 opponents this year, looking for its 4th. Andre slips it inside. O'Connie hits the deck. Loose ball and a turnover. Javier Francis got it for the Cougars.
That's on West Virginia, a little too tight. They tried to squeeze a little bit too much in the paint.
Roberts traveled. Turnover number 10. Excuse me, that's turnover number 11, Coach. And
Kelvin Sampson didn't see that. I'm not sure I did either. Just a quick jab step and then a crossover move. Well, right now, Houston's offense looks a little bit like West Virginia's did in the first half, just kind of back on their heels, not getting into a flow, changing sides of the floor, getting much movement. 6
turnovers in the second half for the Cougars. Under 12 minutes to play in regulation. Good feed. Andre finds O'Connie. Missed the short jumper.
Well, Andre's a very good passer, very aware that Houston's going to double him down there. O'Connie recognized it. Good cut to the rim, just couldn't finish.
Pryor off 1 foot at the free throw line. Offensive rebound. Francis with the left hand put back.
That's Houston basketball at its best. That's what they did in the first half. They attacked off the bounce. They got it up on the rim, and then their bigs were fierce on the offensive glass.
Timeout taken with 11:13 to go here in the second half. Well, just when it looked like West Virginia was down and out, they have pulled themselves back into it against number 6 Houston. Houston in the second half, 18-6, got their defense leading to offense.
Pressure defense, full court pressure, half court pressure, attacking the basketball, denying, and then getting out in transition and making a concerted effort to get the ball inside to try to get Houston to bite a little bit, which will open up the perimeter.
West Virginia 7 for 11 from the floor here in the second half. It's the most top 10 wins this season. Kentucky's got 4 of them. West Virginia has 3, along with Auburn and Alabama. So Kelvin Sampson, we saw during the timeout, past 2 timeouts, a lot of yelling at his team, but what's the message he's trying to get through?
Just get the ball moving a little bit better on the offense. On offense, they're very stagnant. They're not moving enough. They're not cutting hard enough to get open. They're not answering the challenge of West Virginia's pressure defense.
West Virginia, despite cutting into this lead, their offense has slowed down a little bit. They're scoreless in the last 2.5 minutes, trying to get over that hump. A little closer here. Entry pass to Andre, just 4 to shoot. And a travel, just not a great possession out of the timeout for West Virginia.
No, Houston answered though. That was Houston pressure at its best. There was nothing. Andre wanted to make that open pass, but they covered on the backside where they needed to.
And Andre struggled the past few possessions. We'll see how long Amani Hansberry stays on the bench for Coach DeVries. He was a big catalyst to this second half run. Uzan inside, turnover. Yesufu got the hot potato. Now to his left. Yesufu high off the glass and in, but he hurt himself. He is holding his left leg as he collides inside with Javier Francis.
He is so important because he's played with a lot of toughness tonight on both ends. It starts with the defense. Good job on the help side. They tried to lob it in. He was there to protect, and then just really a terrific finish in the lane over the bigs.
Yesufu started his college career at Drake. His head coach at the time was Darren DeVries, reunited here after Yesufu was in Washington State last year. Roberts backing down Andre. Offensive rebound, Arsenault. Midway point of the second half. Second chance opportunity now for the Cougars on this possession.
Harris doing a great job on Uzan at the top.
Uzan driving, fading away, got the roll.
Well, he earned every bounce and every second of that possession because Harris was right in his grill. Uzan made the tough shot.
West Virginia will play Cincinnati on Sunday on the road. We would love to be coming off a win here at home against Houston. Yesufu off one leg, the injured leg. This time the baseline jumper. Yesufu has 9 points.
He has really been a catalyst on both ends. Just a lot of toughness. Experience has played in these type of games before.
Roberts. Up top, Wilson, a lot of contact, no whistle. Brick 3-pointer. Francis, the offensive rebound, and a foul underneath against the Mountaineers. And Small he is hurt. Yeah, he knocked knees or something, Coach, because he is walking funky, trying to get back that right leg feeling.
West Virginia needs to be reminded they did a great job in the first 11 minutes of this half on the glass, but the last couple possessions, Houston has been up on the attack on the offensive glass, and there you see him just fall awkwardly on that dribble drive into the lane.
So Javon Small goes to the locker room for West Virginia. A huge loss with under 9 minutes to go here in the second half. The leading scorer in the Big 12 at 20 points per game. Good hands. It was KJ Tenner who just came into the game for the first time, with Small going out as Harris fouled from behind. And Harris shaken up. He's holding his wrist now. West Virginia working hard for every possession, but they're paying the price.
This is a physical game on both ends, not only in the half court, but in transition. There's nothing easy, but again, Harris, the presence of mind, he's done a really good job pressuring, and then you see him get hit and then fall on the wrist.
He's still in a lot of pain. He's holding that right hand, wiggling his fingers, trying to get feeling back as he goes to the free throw line. I just want to go back 1 second, Coach, to the performance so far of Joseph Yesufu. He's got 9 points, leading scorer for West Virginia. He has been scoreless in 3 of his last 4 games. So this is not something that fans would have expected coming into this one.
Well, we said it before that you know that Houston's going to take away Javon Small as much as they can. That's the first and foremost thing they're going to do at the top of the scouting report. So someone else has to step up, not only in the half court, but in transition. And Yesufu's done that. He's turned defense into offense. He's been fearless going to the rim in transition.
Harris missing the first free throw. Makes the second, and now West Virginia has 12 points off turnovers here in this second half. They are within 5, but they are without their leading scorer and best player, Javon Small, who's in the locker room after the injury. And a foul on Sincere Harris, who has some words from Milos Uzan.
Darren DeVries has some words as well, but sometimes you're a future Hall of Famer and you can buy one once in a while. And Kelvin was asking for that hand check.
And Darren DeVries is telling Sincere Harris, stop talking.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get. They have to call that though. You can't body-to-body contact. You can't put your hands on the dribble.
The whistle away from the basketball. This time goes against West Virginia. It's on Sincere Harris. That's his 4th, so a big defensive stopper for West Virginia has to come out with 8:27 to go.
You've got to back up. You have to understand where the officials are making calls at different parts and points of the game, and Kelvin Sampson knew that West Virginia was being a little too aggressive on the perimeter, and he got the calls.
Javon Small is back on the bench for West Virginia, still rubbing his right knee. L.J. Cryer, 3 to shoot, and a whistle. So 3 fouls on this half of the court in this possession against West Virginia. There you see Small on the sideline, still wincing in pain. This time the foul on Yesufu. His 2nd will send Cryer to the free throw line.
Looked like Cryer may have picked the dribble up and double dribbled over there in that corner. It was tough to see. There were so many bodies flying around, but he might have got away with one. He definitely got fouled, but he might have double dribbled first.
Cryer, a 91% free throw shooter on the season.
West Virginia is doing a much better job in this half of staying home on the shooters. They're not allowing Cryer or Sharp to get any open looks, and they're really putting a lot of pressure on Uzan, so he's having trouble making clean, clear passes.
Javon Small still getting worked on the bench. Now we'll try to walk it out. Well, he's going to go back to the locker room. Not a great sign. Javon Small struggling with that knee injury. KJ Tenner came in his place. Finds Amani Hansberry. Hansberry the drive. Left-hand finish.
Recognition by West Virginia. They attacked that double. They got it out of the trap quickly and then knew that they had numbers in the lane.
Seven and a half minutes to go here in regulation. 5-point lead for the Cougars. Tugler, kick out. Uzan for 3. Offensive rebound for Roberts. Sharp takes a shot. That 3-pointer is short.
Now that's what they do, though. Houston's doing a much better job the last 3 or 4 minutes getting up on the glass.
Hansberry for 3. Offensive rebound for Powell, and he's fouled. Both coaches, coach, fired up as Kelvin Sampson.
It's almost February. You can feel the energy from the sidelines. The huddle during that timeout. Now he's back on the bike, back towards the locker room, and it's just obviously he's trying to stretch that leg out, whatever it is. And you know, it's really a small miracle that West Virginia is where they are in the season without Tucker DeVries as far as all their big wins. But that's just a credit to Darren DeVries and just this whole team. I mean, just coming out the way they did in the second half after being down 20.
Both teams in the bonus as Jonathan Powell misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Javon Small on the stationary bike and a foul. They're going to count the basket. And one as that ball was blocked going in.
Well, that's the bad thing about the rule. The officials don't like it. It's not their fault, but they're going to call this a goaltending on most occasions because of the fact that they cannot review it unless they call the goaltending.
Right.
I do not think that was goaltending.
They do get to review. There's Don Daly, Brooks Wells, and Chance Moore, the three referees. So if you're West Virginia, what can you do without Small offensively, because he takes so much of the focus of the opposing defense?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. You better ask Darren DeVries that one. I don't know what you do. You really you have no chance basically without him against Houston. But now he's checked back in, so we'll never know.
Well, we knew for a couple minutes, and West Virginia was able to hang in there as Houston leads it by 7 with 6:43 to go.
I used to do a lot of praying in the late, silent praying, grab my cross or whatever. But basically, there's not much you get without him against Houston. Really, shut the door. But he's coming back in, and he's just showing his toughness. He's not right. It looks like he's still grabbing his knee a little bit, rubbing it. But they've come this far. We're going to put him back out there. It's a credit to the kid. Now, interesting to see on this call. I think the ball was way short of going in. It was on the way up.
The foul was on Joseph Yesufu. That's his third. The question is, was it an and one or not?
Well, usually they review this during the timeout, but they can't review it.
They're going to count the bucket after the review.
Rule number 4, goaltending 1
So
shot.
count the field goal.
Well, they have to review it now because they have to determine if it's 1 shot or 2.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't have been good, they would have had 2 shots. But Cryer will get 1 now for the and one.
So Cryer to the free throw line. He's got 12 points. Javon Small back out there for West Virginia. 12-game win streak for Houston on the line and a perfect 8-0 record in Big 12 conference play this season. Cryer's got 13. The crowd quiets for a moment, but I'm sure very happy to see that man with the basketball back out on the floor. Let's see what he can do with that knee injury. Pointing out instructions, trying to get his teammates to go where he wants. It's the feed inside. O'Connor finds Hansberry for the bucket.
Well, that's Javon Small. He pointed to the mismatch inside. Uzan was guarding O'Connor because they had a big out on the perimeter guarding Small.
Cryer driving inside. Tugler the slam. That's his first bucket of the second half. He had 10 points in the first half.
Good job by Tugler. Just that backside cut. He's been so effective today on the offensive end. Really hungry and looking for his points and post-ups.
Under 6 minutes to play in regulation. O'Connor blocked. Tugler got his paws on it and sends it out of bounds.
West Virginia does a good job of going inside because they had the mismatch. And then coming back, Tugler just face cuts. They give a lot of help, but they don't rotate back down. They probably shouldn't have helped too much. O'Connor kind of overhelped and left Tugler wide open.
6 on the shot clock for Javon Small, and he had his pocket picked. Uzan had it, and then O'Connie knocked it out of bounds. It'll be the Cougars basketball.
Good defense by Uzan on Small. He just tried to cross over right in front of Uzan.
There's LJ Cryer trying to turn the corner. Bodies and gold jerseys in front of him. Emmanuel Sharp. Oh, he stutters. He's already dealing with the ankle injury, and he goes down hard. That did not look good. He has been playing, Coach, through pain, it seems, the entire game, and just looked like his ankle gave out on him.
He's got that injury to the side of his foot, ankle. Kelvin talked about him earlier in the week, just how tough he is kind of playing through that pain, but at this point of the season, you got to sometimes deal with it, but it's hard to play at the intense level in this type of game with that type of pain.
Just 3 points for Sharp as he goes back to the bench. Houston led by 20 at half. Back-to-back turnovers on West Virginia, under 5 minutes to play.
That's what Houston does, though. They just don't relax. They may have some lapses at times offensively, but now their defense is back up as their calling card.
Best defense in the nation. Scoring defense, gives up just 56 points per game. Cryer, elbow fadeaway. Roberts taps it to himself on the offensive glass. Now Uzan for 3, buries it.
Well, not only do the bigs of Houston understand that they're going to turn and look back outside if they don't have the quick putback, but all their perimeter players understand just to slide into that open gap, find that passing angle where they can get their feet set and knock it down.
First made 3 the second half for Houston. They had 6 in the first half. Five on the shot clock now. O'Connie to his left. Inside, Hansberry had hands on him, and they were Milos Uzan's, and he gets called for the foul.
Well, they call it the pistol or whatever you want to call it, but Houston was really the first team to start doing this. Off the rebound, look directly back out for the open shooter and knock it down.
I will say it seems like the national perception of Houston over the past few years has been, well, they're kind of one-dimensional, right? They play really good defense, but can they score? Can they keep up with the big guys? That's not the question this year. They can score, and they still play that Kelvin Sampson defense.
And they can score in a lot of different ways. You know, they still have the Kelvin Sampson mark on this team. They do what they do. They attack you. They press you. They make you feel uncomfortable. They go after the offensive glass. But they can score. They can play in the half court. They can play in the full court. They can go on the road. The defense always travels, and it's a complete program. And they have good guys too. Kelvin will not coach bad cats. That's for sure. That's part of our evaluation. I want to have people around in my program, not only are good players, but good people.
Yeah, so 3 of his players, their dads were their high school basketball coaches. So it's guys with good basketball IQ. He's got a lead, 57-46, looking for their second win against West Virginia this season. They beat them in Houston back on January 15th. The missed jump shot by Roberts into the hands of Sunseer Harris. 3.5 minutes to go as the West Virginia offense has struggled here the last few minutes. Hansberry lines up a 3. He was short. Now here comes Tugler the other way. Doesn't have numbers, and wisely pulls it back.
Kelvin almost grabbed Tugler to hold him back from attacking the basket, but Tugler's played a terrific game tonight. Just very heady on both ends.
3 minutes to go here in the second half. Eric Rothman, Tim Welsh at the WVU Coliseum. Houston riding a 12-game winning streak. Coming off the high in Lawrence, Kansas over the weekend. A double overtime win. As LJ Cryer, he's the leading scorer in the game with 15 points.
This is why Kelvin Sampson will be in the Hall of Fame in Springfield one day. Just relentless coaching. Never lets the game get out of hand. Make sure his team understands at all times that he's in charge. And no matter what happens, he's not going to put up with any lapses. And he's used his timeouts properly and built this lead back up.
West Virginia was able to get as close as 5, but now the lead back out to 13, a 7-0 run here for Houston. In a physical game on both sides. Players going down, players shaking off injuries. Good defensive stand there as Okani with the rejection, and then Milos Uzan called for the foul. That'll be the 4th foul on Uzan as Coach DeVries wants a flagrant. I don't think he's going to get it.
Good team defense here by West Virginia, closing the door quickly, but Uzan made a play on the ball.
With foul on him, both him and Sincere Harris out there with 4 fouls. It's Harris at the free throw line for West Virginia. Both teams in the bonus as Harris misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Houston has 9 team fouls. West Virginia has 8. West Virginia just 4 of 10 from the free throw line in this game. Cryer staying patient. Roberts the offensive rebound. 13th offensive rebound in the game for Houston.
Well, there's not a shot that goes up on the offensive end for Houston that Javon Roberts doesn't think he can go get for a second chance opportunity.
He's got 6 boards in this game to go along with 5 points. Here's Arsenault, baseline drive and a soft touch at the rim.
And again, Roberts felt the pressure from the inside, pitched it back out to the outside to Arsenault, who had a clean lane to the rim.
1 minute to go. It's a good comeback effort from West Virginia as Harris is fouled. He'll go to the line for an and one. Looks like they're going to come up short. Houston just too much as that bucket ends with a 9-0 run for the Cougars. West Virginia, coach, is just one of those teams that it seems like they've built a resume good enough to make it to the NCAA tournament, at least as of now. We'll see how the remaining, 5 weeks of the season goes. But I got to imagine if you're going into the Big 12 tournament and you see them as like a 6 seed, 7 seed, you're just shaking your head going, I don't want to play West Virginia.
A lot of those teams like that in this conference.
Yeah.
And you can only talk about so many, but they're on the right path to get to the NCAA tournament. But it's just like anything else. If you think that you're in, then you're going to take your foot off the pedal, and they need to keep winning. And I think their effort tonight in the second half will go a long way in helping them moving forward. After those two rocky performances against Arizona State and Kansas State, there was a little concern within the room, as they say in hockey, a little bit. Just they lost some confidence, I think. And in the first half tonight, again, playing Houston is not the remedy to build your confidence back up. But I think the second half of what they did tonight, just getting back into this game, will help them moving forward.
And if you're Houston, you look at how this season has gone. Obviously, again, there's still a lot of time left in the regular season. Anything can happen, but it seems like the last 5 or 6 years have kind of been a crescendo up until this year. And it seems like Kelvin Sampson has a balanced enough team, experienced guards, good big men in Roberts and Tugler, great defense and the ability to shoot the 3. It seems like the formula is there as you look at their net ranking at 2nd in the nation for them to finally get that national championship that Kelvin Sampson's been looking for the past 33 years.
Well, great coaching, number one, but connectivity. And we asked Kelvin earlier today, what do you like about your team? And it was a pretty simple answer. I like my team. What do you like about them? I like them. He likes his players. He likes what they bring to the table. He likes them as people. He wants to coach them. He loves coaching them every day. I mean, Kelvin's been in this business a long, long time, but he is full of energy still. And this team, I believe, can get back to the Final Four. And he believes it too, because he's going to keep his foot on the pedal, and they're going to just get better and better as the season progresses.
Offense for Houston slowed down a little bit here in this second half. 22 points compared, make it 24 compared to the 39 they had in the first half, but they were able to withstand the West Virginia run, get back to their principles, good defense, get right back into a double-digit lead as Yesufu misses the three.
You know, and looking at the portal and how they built their program, you know, Milos Uzan has only played 19 games for Kelvin Sampson, 20 after tonight, and so he's going to get better. Yeah. You know, what you see now obviously has been great in the Big 12 with his 8-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio before tonight in the league, but look at now and then look again in 3 weeks and they're going to get even better.
13 wins in a row for Houston, 18 straight regular season conference victories in the Big 12 for the Cougars as they win it 63-49 on the road.
They just imposed their will. We said it before.